All right. And we are live. The last word. LordCognito, Ebontis, Tie Guy, Travis, fresh on that season of the Seraph. Thursday early edition campfire. Ebontis, I've been watching your videos. Travis, been real busy out here. Start with E the Cheetah, man. What's going on with you, man?
Destiny, and more Destiny. We'll get into all the details, but yeah, literally since the day of trailer that did not leak went live at 9 o'clock in the morning, my time, 7 a.m. Pacific. I was live for like 12 hours that day. So we'll get into all the details. Travis, what about you?
Yeah.
I have also played a good amount of Destiny. I didn't get to log in the first day because I was in San Diego doing a preview event, which I can't talk about, but it'll be live next week. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about what we've played so far. The first week, I think, is off to a pretty decent start. And I'm also working on a review of High on Life, the Justin Roiland game. So
nice.
some point next week, and is also going to be super exciting. So lots of good stuff over here. Cog, what are you up to, my man?
Crazy, insanely busy. We doing the double dip. It's holiday season, so holiday season for work. So much going on there. So much podcasting. I've been double dipping for Duke and ILP and just getting ready for like that last stretch. And then I'm going to take some much needed time off. But I have been able, unbeknownst to my clan, well, actually Ducky's in there. He knows. I've been invisible, but I've been grinding. That's the, nice. I've been playing a bunch.
And that's the incognito mode.
Yeah, I said clan. I love y'all, but it's just so busy, and I just have to get some stuff done. We're gonna talk about that, and yeah, same thing as Trav. Like some thoughts. I got some thoughts in a mostly positive way. Some of it. So we'll get to it. I've been watching E's videos so I can know what Seraph keys and stuff to do. But anyway, what's been going on with you? Otherwise, with this game?
Yeah, so we got the trailer launched Tuesday morning. Did not leak. I should say the trailer did not drop early and leak from another partner and then get leaked on YouTube. There were some speculative leaks and happens that out there. Some was right, some was wrong. I kind of looked at them as we got close just to see what was right. But we got Season of the Seraph. Now, to absolutely no one's surprise, Rasputin is involved. Currently, Red, as Anna called him, but Rasputin is kind of dying. She saved what was left of him after the pyramid ship showed up. He tried to attack, lost. She tried to basically pull what she could into an engram. She's been trying to keep that thing alive and saving, but he's kind of like deteriorating. He's been in there too long, not really got a lot. So at this point, we are trying to find a way to resurrect him. At the same time, thanks to a wonderful tweet last week, Xivu Arath is trying to also basically get a control of at least the Warsat network or part of it to use that to take us out in one fashion and also potentially try and get a hold of his submines, which we figured out are in a couple different places between Europa, and then we've also got one on the moon. And yeah, we got Osiris and Anna Bray hanging out in the helm, chatting it up. You've got Marasov doing some voiceover lines. We've got Clovis Bray back in the mix. I'm honestly going to say it. I love how condescending Marasov is because it's perfect when she's condescending to Clovis. I could not have asked for a better moment when she was like, oh, you picked up on that joke, did you? Or you figured that joke out yourself? And I was just like, yeah, somebody needs to put Clovis in his place. It's kind of great. So that's mostly what's happened. First week, obviously, we have the weekly cadence of the story. There's going to be 7 weeks. That's about all I should say. Gentlemen, thoughts?
Yo, let me jump in, man. Pleasantly surprised. I came in with such, and again, this is just the narrative portion. I have not touched competitive PvP yet. So I would defer to Travis there. And I'm dying because, listen, Trav, I'm so rusty. I was like, I'm not worthy to jump in there. Let me get quick play, get my bearings, see what the meta is before I jump in there. But I'll defer to you on that. But let's get to this story. All right, first off. All right, I'm biased. First off the rip, my man is back, so I'm excited. They're referencing the relationship in game for the first time. I love
referencing it. They're showing it.
They're showing it. And they're like, yo, there was a line, I don't know if y'all caught it, where she's talking to Anna Bray. It's like, look, I know you kind of the person that's kind of head down in your work, but step up, had his coffee. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to appreciate the people that really care about you. He references say, I'm like, okay, now we got it. Now we're forming the thing that I've been waiting to form. But all jokes aside, I love
that line was so good.
So good. The TI, so good.
Yeah, it was such like a little moment, but yeah,
Yes.
it's like what TD, and I was just like, it was well done. Those are those little nuggets when they do nail them. That was one of their nice ones.
Yeah, he's been on fire. Osiris has been on fire with that. I think the reason why I'm biased is two reasons. One, Clovis Bray is my favorite enemy. Like, I love him. I love the arrogance. He everything about, to me, the disappointment of Beyond Light was that he wasn't the boss. I didn't want Tanix revisited again, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. Clovis, to me, when you jump in that skywalk and he starts talking his talk, is nothing. The arrogance just gleams. I love him. So you got that. You got him and Anna going back and forth, the family dynamic. You know, Osiris is getting sunned. He's like, I am the great Osiris. He's like, yeah, that's cute. That's cute that you think you do. I don't care about none of that. Yeah. All right. So now the actual missions themselves, the seasonal activity, I actually like, you know, a new mechanic where this targeting, you got a stealth, you might get eliminated by these, you know, Seraph towers kind of thing. You get into the bunker. Yes, they repurposed Europa. We know it. Yes, there's a lot of repurposing of kind of Warmind-ish kind of stuff, but I'm biased. I love the techie Warmind stuff, so it kind of resonates with me. Then the Ziva Arath was a nice little twist. I'm like, okay, she's in the mix. Okay, cool. Have to admit, like the weapons. I've got the some of the Seraph weapons, the Trace, the arc one with what you call it, adaptive munitions and something in Volt Shot. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I forget the name of some of the new weapons, but I know I got one with Volt Shot. Yeah, it's fun.
So good. Disappointed, no Lost Sector armors. Oh, is that true?
So from what I've seen, it is true. The name of the Trace rifle, by the way, is Path of Least Resistance, which is kind of perfect. From what I've seen, there is no armor as of right now. Somebody was messing around in the API, might have found little icons, so I don't know if they chose not to. Maybe they're bugged, maybe they're saving them for later, but as of right now, no exotics this season for armor, at least.
Okay. So quickly, because I'm going long. Look, I'm in the honeymoon phase, right? Love it out the gate right now, for sure. We'll see how it sets in. I thought there was some things on the seasonal path for the what is it, the structure that they repeat every season where you unlock the nodes and
the war table upgrades. Yeah, this time they are actually called upgrades, which is kind of on the nose.
I did look at the further track and I saw some protections for people who are kind of unlucky, and I thought they did some stuff with resonance that I thought was a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the wording on some of the deep sight for a pattern that you do not have unlocked, that kind of thing. I'm like, thank you. Like, couldn't have come sooner. But yeah, if you're going to get one of those from the war table and you're like, oh, I focus in, and you get one that you've already unlocked, yeah, it's like a double slap in the face. So
yeah, but that's pretty much it. I'm going to let Trav. I want to get his feel of it because I really am curious. How's that placement? How's that crucible? What is looking like, bro? Like, what's going on over there?
Ranked ladders, they're here. And Cog, I actually don't recommend that you go and warm up on quick play. And the reason for that is because you are going to play initiation matches. You got to play 7 of them. And then afterward, you're going to get placed into your place in the ranked ladder. And my personal opinion, ladders are more fun when you start at the bottom. I intentionally went in with no preparation myself and not looking at the meta or anything like that, just so I could kind of see what happened, win, lose, and kind of see where I end up. I haven't played a ton, full disclosure. I wasn't able to play it all on launch day, and then yesterday I played like as much as I could into the night. But you know, I finished all the weeklies, but it has all the problems that Destiny Crucible currently still has. This isn't a cure-all, right?
Okay.
The sandbox still doesn't feel great to me right now. I just think there's certain little balance things. Some things are a little more overpowered than they should be, etc. We've kind of talked about that.
What they using also out there, if not to interrupt you, like what are you seeing being utilized to get you weapon-wise?
I mean, fusions are still like probably stronger in terms of range than they'd probably be in speed and that sort of stuff. So there's stuff
Okay.
like that. Nothing crazy. It's just that
Okay.
airborne effectiveness is still really like a problem for me, and there's always some stuff they can improve.
Yeah.
But and also there's no new maps. And the mode is an existing mode, right? It's elimination, a mode that we've been playing forever, and it's kind of not super surprising, yada yada. So it has all the same problems and stuff that we complained about. It's certainly not a cure-all, but the fact that we've got matchmaking based on your skill bracket that you move up in, really the only thing it's missing is a reward system around it. It doesn't really have that, right? Unfortunately, but I'm so happy. It's so
Nice.
good to just see it in there. And when you do your first match and it says like you're getting placed within the ladder and yada yada, it's really great. So I'm gonna see how hard how high I can get. I mean, these days I don't have a ton of time for Destiny Crucible, frankly, which is sad. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I can put some hours away to focus on this and grind up the ladder, because it's just cool to see it there.
Nice.
So that's been great. But yeah,
Cool.
as for the PvE content, I think you guys have largely kind of said what I felt. I like the setting. I like the characters. Clovis Bray is my favorite character in Destiny. Um, I actually don't think he should be the villain per
You
se.
won't.
I think
You
that
won't.
he's just an ass, right? He kind of reminds me of HK-47 from Knights of the Old Republic, where he's like a little bit of just like a mean robot. He kind of reminds me of a Star Wars robot, because Star Wars robots are like, they have like a lot of personality. They don't
What's
really
the one
act
from
very
Rogue One
robotic.
who's kind of like very dry? The bigger guy?
A2SO. Yeah.
Mhm.
That guy as well, although that guy is sort of just a HK-47 light. He's
Mhm.
like a version of HK-47 who doesn't actively detest all human life forms, which is what HK-47 does. He refers to them as meat bags. So yeah, so yeah, I really like that he's at the center stage. I hope that they continue to include him as a larger part of the story in some way, because I'm not super excited to meet Rasputin, frankly, uh, because I feel like I've been talking to Rasputin for 8 years, and you can give him a sexy robot body, but I have a feeling that that's where it's going. But I really like Clovis, and the fact that he isn't just an AI, right? He's a human that's in a robot now. He's basically
Mhm.
the first EXO, kind of.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to
Mhm.
see where it goes. I'm sure it'll have all the same problems we've been complaining about. The war table sucks. The reusing of Warmind areas sucks. Get a lot of Mars vibes from this, and not
Yes.
in a good way. But yeah, the grind is going to be real. The story is going to end too soon. All the problems that we talked about are still there. But it's a start. It's better than pirates on a stupid quest that I didn't care about. And I will say, I'm glad that the main activity is more difficult. I was surprised by
Yes.
that when I
Oh, that
replayed it.
little
It's a lot more
scaler?
It's
difficult.
it's basically contest, like a mini contest mode,
Yeah,
because
Yes.
everything
mini
is at
contest mode.
least 5 levels above you. It's called like playlists.
Yeah,
Playlist
and
rules, I think
I
is what it's called.
really I dug that. I thought that was
Yes.
cool. So,
I felt the tension in
so
that mode.
so far I am usually I'm the guy who on this show, the first week I'm already over it, right? And you guys are all bright-eyed until like the 5th or 6th week.
That's true. That's the
But
cadence.
I will say I see that coming. I think I'm gonna be sick of it, and I probably, will continue to not play as much as I would normally if they actually created a lot of content. But I'm happier with the story. I'm happier with the activity. The dungeon is gonna be a huge boon. I mean, that's gonna be big. And I like that they at least gave me something for people who like to play Crucible, even if it's not the most exciting or perfect system. It's a start.
Yeah.
So
It's not feature
Mhm.
complete, but as you said, it's a beginning before Lightfall. I would honestly look at Comp as like a beta before Lightfall. I really would, because I think this is them going to get it out, work on stuff, and then, if there's the feedback's like, hey, we really, really want rewards, take 1 or 2 other artists off something and make sure you got rewards coming in Lightfall for that comp playlist to make sure the big release, the big expansion is a bit more fleshed out. Am I ready for the dungeon? As much as I'm gonna be, but we'll save the dungeon talk here for just a minute. So yeah, story, we basically covered all the beats. If you look through some of the press room or press kit, basically, we get to see there's a moment, and again, not a spoiler if you want to go look in the press kit, so I don't consider this stuff spoilers, it's just part of the media. There's a picture of Zavala at his desk, and in that same room, you have your Guardian, you have Marasov standing in the tower, which can't picture her having actually done that. She's standing in front of his desk. There's a Mithrax projection, there's a Caiatl projector, and then who else would be in there? Oh, Cyrus is in there too. Like, that's a pretty legit round of people that we haven't had in the same room. Like Mithrax and Caiatl alone, kind of interesting. But Marasov standing in front of Zavala is actually probably the most interesting part, because I don't think she's ever ventured in the tower. Like, having her like land on her ship and walk through the tower would be one of those moments everybody's like, like, I feel like you would just like stop and watch her walk by. Oh, Anna's in there. I think that's who it is. It's not Osiris. I think Anna's in there. But yeah, it's like, I think, as you guys have said, the story already started better. And it's not that sometimes you want a lighthearted season. Sometimes the pirate theme, like, the devs wanted to have fun with the season, and that's like totally up to them. But again, as we're getting closer and closer to the end of this saga, we need things to happen. And when I see this mix of characters in there, I know it's not all for nothing, which has got me excited. And we're going into Lightfall and Neo Moon and all that stuff. So I'm excited for the story.
Yeah, could they have set that up any more, by the way? They've said Saturn like 19 times, I feel, and I'm like, yo, is this story an advertisement for Lightfall? Is that what it's coming down to?
Is Lightfall coming soon? Maybe. I will say, like, when you log, it is a 12-week season.
Fast.
No, I know. Yeah. It is a 12-week season, and it is 12 tight. Like, there is no wiggle room. There is 6 weeks for Grandmasters. 1 each week. No bonus. Like, there is no repeat of a Grandmaster. It is like the shortest season I think we've had in a while. Which I was like, hey, if they nail it, then cool. That just means February's still going to suck. But they seem like hard and fast, and we're going to see the trailer in the Game Awards tonight. So here's that cherry limeade. I see that can.
It's good. It's quite delicious. Advanced GG in can form. It's quite delicious. Scrumptious.
Y'all are bought and paid for.
Exactly. 100%.
Sold out.
But no, I wanted to actually talk about the match-made activity, the Heist Battlegrounds, because you guys said the first thing. It's difficult. It is one where you want to go in and make sure you kind of have all of your bases covered, because the blueberries who go in there may not be quite as helpful depending on what less than, sub-intelligent person who walks in the room with you. Because when you start, probably if you've been on the moon, and in that first section when you're on the surface of the moon before you go down in the bunker, if you have the Death Tongue Chorister on that opening moon section, oh man, it's just nightmare. Especially if they set off the alarm. So there's difficult enemies that are not champions. Now there are champions in there, but the Death Tongue Chorister, much more feared than the other guys. So that's a thing. But no, it's having an enemy who you see a spawn, it gets a target on them. They have to walk across like a certain area, and then if they light up that alarm, you are suppressed. Like that's kind of a real thing. And I think they mentioned some type of ability suppression for Lightfall, if I remember correctly, right? Ability fields or something like that. So maybe this is kind of a tease or them testing that as well. But yeah, when you get you're like, oh, I want to throw my grenade. I have nothing. This is not it. You feel it when that thing's on. So I don't know if you guys have experienced it yet, but yeah, if you see that thing, nuke it. Absolutely. Like literally heavies, thunder crash, freeze it with stasis. I've seen people run in stasis. That'll definitely stasis is helpful in there. Tormentors can disable your light powers. Okay, I wasn't totally crazy.
I've been using that collective in there. I was able to get it. So I've been messing with my little suppressing and void build. I'm very happy. Shout out to Ducky the crew. Back.
But yeah, so you'll start on the outside, and as you mentioned, you got the laser tower. And if the towers can get sight of you, they have about 15 seconds to track you. And if you just stand in the open, you're going to get lit up. Yep. Now, you can hide behind a stasis crystal. You can hide behind a barricade. You've got options. And 15 seconds is a decent time to run between most covers. It's not too hard to get through. You don't even have to kill all the enemies on the Europa one. On the moon, you have to kill all the enemies. You have to go through that. But on Europa, you just like got to get inside.
Mhm.
But I think that's one of the biggest things. It feels. I wish they would use that playlist rules, like in a patrol zone or something like do that type of thing. Drop some heavier bosses in there. Make public events in there be a bit more of a challenge with just something, because that playlist rule, because it's not like crazy, but you got to be a little more on your game, and especially in the Europa boss room, it gets a little chaotic in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It almost feels like experimentation on their part, you know what I mean, with it, and them playing around with different things and mechanics. It's always refreshing to see like a new mechanic added, kind of thing. And I also felt the length of it was good. It was like a nice, healthy length.
Yeah,
It wasn't like
it's a little meatier than like a 8-minute
yeah.
strike.
hmm
But yeah, so you'll have like the Zivu Arath little towers out there, gonna be knocking those down. So far, we've got Moon and Europa. I'm gonna guess we're gonna get an EDZ at some point, somewhere. I feel like I think either I read it, saw it, or just it seems like from some of the opening mission that maybe that's one that we run through again. The opening mission was like definitely more stealthy. That was like a longer run through the stealth section than either of the two actual battlegrounds. That was actually pretty cool. So I'll be curious where we play out the missions, because that opening one is an area that we haven't seen, and I don't think you can just go get access to. So it was nice to see. It's just nice to see more stuff, I guess, with relation to this one thing. And I think some people are like, oh, there's no 6-person activity. I'm like, I don't need it. I have one good activity as opposed to two, like, expeditions felt tacked on, I would say. Catch Crash was pretty cool. Expeditions was like the bonus. This is like the one good one. So I'm enjoying it so far. The mechanics where you actually have to hit the keys off the wall. You got to go to either side. There's 3 variations of those that I've seen. So you got one that's just lasers, coupled with enemies. And then the boss fights, those are chunky. From what I can tell, the Europa one just seems to be a bit more of a pain in the butt. Because it's the big Shrieker.
Yeah, the Shrieker's annoying.
The Shrieker room's rough.
Teleport all over the place. Yeah,
teleports all over. Teleports multiple times. The guy on the ground, he's a big, like, I think he's a Scorn with the big helmet.
Yeah, big Scorn.
He's not as bad, but I mean, you'll go through. You got the half damage phase, then you got to kill the other guys, charge up the little, shield breaker, laser beam, and do it again. I think it's a well-made activity. I will probably run it way too many times and get tired of running it again. But I'm not just mindlessly going through it, I feel like, because if I'm mindless, I'm gonna be dead.
Yeah.
And especially the main rooms.
I agree. I like it has a lot of enemy density, which I like. And then on that final room, you get hit from all sides, whether it be, Shanks shooting you from far or witches shooting you from far. It's a coordinated effort. I came up with a cool little Phoenix Protocol build just to kind of generate wells and stuff for the blueberry. The blueberries, you got to protect them, because some of them in there, especially when you get to that part where y'all got to separate before you get into that final boss room, and they got to get the thing and
no, I go run and go get it. Yeah. But yeah, you can tell the people who are like, one person stays and like clears the ads, or otherwise you come back and it's just like chaos in the middle. I'm like, oh, it's one of these.
Yes. It's like a baby raid mechanic, like a baby.
Yeah, it's enough where like one person has to hold down a point and just pay attention if the other 2 people go do their things. Yeah.
Blueberries do not be knowing what to do, so I'll just go get it. That's just like they don't know what they do.
Nope.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Technically, you can kill 3 of the locks with 1 orb.
Really?
But yeah, it's like 30. I counted it because I was like 68 click, and I went 67 and it broke. So you can go 33, 33, 33. But I was like, but normally if you do 2 and 2 and you split the last one, it's not a big deal. But technically you can break 3 if you're like very precise with like the trigger, the clicks. So, no, it's like I was not sure what to get for an activity. I didn't expect anything on Shattered Throne levels, but I will say one of the upgrades that is time gated with regards to like the mission we get through, like the infiltrator upgrades on the exoframe, it mentions locked doors and other things that you're going to be able to find. So I don't know if there's like an alternate path or bonus rooms or something in there. So there's going to be a little more to these things as we get farther into it. We don't even have legend difficulty yet either, which kind of scary since this one's already kind of hurting.
Oh, for sure.
How much did you play him, Travis?
The new activity?
Yeah, the heists.
Just enough to complete the weekly.
Okay.
I mean,
Decent
yeah,
amount.
I think that's 2. So 1 on the hard difficulty and 1 on regular. I assume I'm going to be playing it every week. So, you know,
Yeah.
even though the temptation is to play a little bit, I'm like, I think I'll wait this one out, and then I'll, you know, I tend to backload my stuff, procrastinate. I wonder why. But yeah, my goal is to not hate Destiny, especially right
Yes.
now. So I'm gonna wean myself in.
Yeah.
Do that.
No, same approach, Tarav. I saw the seasonal because what it is, I want to upgrade those nodes so much, but you have to do those seasonal challenges to get the exo upgrade thing. And yeah, I really want to start focusing on the Seraph weapons. I like actually no disrespect to the Ikelos. The Ikelos is like tried and true. You know, they're gonna have new perks. You know what it is. I see the SMG with Volt Shot is
That I want.
crazy.
That I want. I can't. I don't have it yet. I want it.
I have.
You have it?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, it
It's
feels good. Even I just pulled it out for a quick thing. I was doing it for a bounty, and it feels good again. But man, I want Volt Shot so bad.
Volt Shot changed it because you have to reload that gun anyway so many times because the clip size is so small. Yeah. And then you apply that and you start messing with 3.0 builds, it gets really, really good.
Yeah,
so
I've been living on my Brigand's Law, my sidearm.
Yeah,
like Volt Shot, that thing's up to, I think it's leveled up to like level 83 now.
Mm-hmm.
That is my middle slot. It's just because that's the thing is when I do a guide over Heist Battlegrounds, I'm just going to title it Be a Better Teammate because please help and not suck. But that you need something for ad clear.
Yes.
You really do. You need group ad clear. Volt Shot is like one of the best. I mean, Incandescent's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But Volt Shot, man, the way it can chain and the distance it can cover is, I think, kind of unrivaled. So Volt Shot is really strong.
Yeah, got that. And like I said, it's some really cool. I actually don't mind the artifact this year because I'm looking at it. I'm like, what is it? Unstoppable grenade launcher.
Better than the hand. They changed the hand cannon. Hand cannon's like 3 seconds, and it's like painfully long.
Yes, it's a longer initiation, whereas the grenade launcher one, which I just got, the minute you switch, timer. And you're like, okay, cool. But yeah, it's interesting. I saw they got one for solo players. Like what is this?
What up?
Yeah,
I've got that already too.
Solo player artifact mod. Like what's this? But yeah, did you get Breach of Clear? I haven't got it yet.
I got Weekend Clear, and then I also got the solo one, and you can wear both of those. So they're both 5, so you can have Breach and Clear for their weakening, and yours is 15%, so it's 30 between both. So if you're not willing, if you don't want anything else, that's like your whole class item. There's no stats, no nothing on there. But if you put both of those on there, yeah, for a solo player, it's definitely something I'm going to try to run with for my damage and then their weakening, put them together. But yeah, like that alone is something every solo player should try this season. Everybody, because it's 15% more damage on everything. Weapons, abilities, doesn't matter. It's actually really nice. The one with the monochromatic maestro, where it's weapons and abilities of the same type, it's 10%.
Okay.
But you shoot something with, I don't know if it's damage or kill. I think it's damage. I would have to go read it again. With like your gun, and then you throw a grenade, it's stronger. Then if you get damage, your grenade does something off of its once the cooldown's done, then you come back and you get it. So I mean, you can have that 10% up, probably a lot. I would imagine it's if you play like an arc build, for example, you could have it up quite a bit. I am relatively pleased actually with the artifact. The damage mitigation, like the Solar Arc and Void, it's all of them, but it's only like 5%. It's not that much. If you double it up, it's bugged right now. So FYI.
Question for Trav. How do y'all feel about the artifact mod having solid like +5 mobility, +5 resilience, like solid stats to this kind of new. At least I've never seen.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Before.
Like where they're giving you these bonus stats to add to your armor intrinsically, but you have to give up some energy slots to use it. I don't know how you feel. I was curious about chat because I was wondering how you might feel about in PvP slapping that bad boy on like a +5 mobility, +5 resilience, whatever.
Yeah, I mean they already sort of do that because you have the mods that can increase your stats overall. So I think that's part of it. It gives you more options to min-max. It makes it less prone to random armor drops. I mean, I'm never a fan of anything where like the person that grinds the longest has the advantage or whatever. So just because I think a lot of PvP people are like, oh, a lot of PvP people are like, why do they make me play so much PvE just so that I can play PvP better? Which you know, I'm okay with that, but probably not everyone. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's a good change. It's only temporary, so it's a nice way to experiment, because if it doesn't go well, you can just not do it next season. So could be interesting.
Cool. Ducky says they should be cheaper. Yeah, a little bit.
I was like,
Everybody thinks that.
I mean, you give up a slot and they're on your chest for the resilience one. The mobility is, I guess, on your boots. See, that's the thing. The boots I wouldn't mind as much, because you'd be like, oh, I could give up a scavenger if I'm going more for stats, because that's a little more important for my build. But when you're talking on chest, you got like damage mitigation that you might be giving up or other things. And that's where it's like the chest just for 5 resilience doesn't feel as good there.
Okay.
So it's like, I wish maybe they were all in one slot. I know they're doing like mobility for boots. Like, it makes sense physically on your character. I get it.
Yeah.
Chest would be resilience. I get what they were going for. But like, I think the chest has other things that are more valuable, because you could even do like avoid resistance, and then you could still do, you know, explosive or something like that. Or even like the 3x1, so you have enough like coverage. And that one takes it up. So it's like, I think it would be better in another slot. The cost, yeah, it's like, it would be nice if it was a little cheaper, especially because it's only 5 and it's more expensive than the normal 5, which I don't love. Like, I mean, if you're going to give me 5 points to something, but it costs 4 energy instead of the normal mod is like 2 or 1 or something like that, that's where it kind of isn't great. So yeah, there's a lot of other things that are more valuable than that. But I mean, I guess if you're really trying to get to that, like those last little bits, maybe. That's a good experiment, but I would make some tweaks. But it's nice to see them messing around with mods on all fronts, I would say, pretty much across the board. A lot of the mods feel different, mostly.
I gotta get that monochromatic joint that you mentioned.
Yeah, that'll be fun for builds. Just kind of all the time, throwing it back and forth. Now, Heist Battlegrounds, Artifact feels pretty good. One thing we do have coming, and we don't even have it yet. Well, the dungeon is tomorrow. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm just working down the season page right now, and it's the Operation Seraph Shield. For this mission to succeed, Guardians must gain access to the most impenetrable facility in the solar system, a Braytech orbital platform above the last city. Break through layers of security each week and awaken Rasputin before it's too late. So this starts on week 3, I believe, because it's going to be on December 20th. And the reason it comes on December 20th is because what's right below it? Revision 0, which is a new exotic, and this is the new exotic weapon. Once deep within the facility, Guardians will reach the weapon Revision 0. In the weeks following its discovery, multiple catalysts can be acquired, each adding to the mysterious exotic's power. So we don't know much about this exotic. It's not even hanging out in the API. It's not even in the game. It might be in the API, but it's not in the game right now, so I don't think you can look up too much about it. But just the idea of multiple catalysts, I wanted to ask you guys. I love the concept, personally. I don't know if they're going to be strong, because I think it is going to be something that's craftable. It is a craftable like pattern. So I think you're going to craft it eventually. So 2 questions. 1, are there other weapons you would like to see an additional catalyst for, kind of given something to tweak? And then 2, I'm a little worried about crafting something with multiple catalysts, because outside of the glaives, the only time we've crafted something that's an exotic is Osteostriga. And when you put the catalyst on there, it was really expensive. So if you want to experiment between the multiple catalysts, that could get really, really pricey. And I'm kind of worried about that.
Yeah, I gotta see how they handle it. You know, they've been toying around with this kind of stuff like lightly. Obviously, not on a catalyst level, but I'm thinking of like when Dead Man Tale and Hawkmoon first came out, right? And then we had like these different perk pools that you could get of versions of it. So they've been lightly experimenting. I don't know. It's one of those things until I see it. I can't really make a hard and fast determination to how is this going to affect this gun. Secondly, this thing looks like I'm assuming this is a scout. Is or a pulse?
It's a pulse. Now, when I looked at this picture before I knew what it was.
Yeah.
Did you ever have between like your friends, or maybe you're just bored and you're like, did you ever like try and draw a gun that had everything on it? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you know, I draw a hand cannon. It's got a rocket launcher over here. It's got a scope up top. It's got this thing. It's got a really long mag. It's like the kid's
Texas
dream
voice,
gun. No,
I'm
it's
joking.
I'm being goofy, but I was like,
I
I
know.
feel like it's like a kid's, you know, it's like, okay, cool. I got like, you know, whatever, but it's like just every add-on you could think of, like it kind of looks like that because it's got the scope on the side, it's got the laser sight underneath, it's got the thing out front, looks like another barrel here, grip, shotgun, it's like, and then now you know the actual like scope on the top rotates up to the top and stuff. It looks like somebody had fun strapping a few extra things onto a gun. That's all.
Yeah, like all those components. Like,
Yeah.
I let you go.
But yes, I do believe it's a pulse because it's in the trailer. And then there's a point where they like activate the exotic perk and the scope like rotates up. And then they go aim down sights down the scope. I don't know if it turns into a sniper and that's like the big gold barrel. I don't know if it's like just a powerful scout. I'm not sure what it's going to turn into. What do you guys think?
Fusion rifle.
That'd be
Linear
cool.
fusion.
Linear fusion.
Kinetic linear fusion. Then I'd be excited.
Yeah.
That's like a spear. It just shoots a spear at you. Harpoon.
Well, it's a railgun. Yeah.
Kinetic
Railgun
would be good.
How you feel?
You're probably right that it's a sniper. Would be my guess.
Got that
It's
long
No Land
distance.
Beyond.
Remember Wow. I forgot about that gun.
What was it?
No Land
No Land
Beyond.
Oh my god, yes.
Wow.
That was a goated weapon, dude. I
Oh,
love that
yeah.
weapon.
Man,
Oh,
I
yeah.
will say I sucked with it. And I hated when people killed me with it, but I also respected it because if you could kill me with that thing, I was like, all right, you're way better than I am. So it was just impressive more than anything.
Oh yeah. That's a throwback right there. Classic.
But yeah, so that one's coming. So we're getting an exotic mission. That alone's kind of exciting. And it sounds like we're going to be getting upgrades this season that make kind of roaming around in the mission easier, whether it be like traps or there's like servitors in here that you're going to be able to like get a power up against, kind of like the Death Tongue coursers.
Yeah.
There's some servitors in the exotic mission where you can get a bonus from as well. And then also unlocking like secret doors where we're going to be like going through multiple phases. So I just like the idea of the fact that there's more progression. This reminds me most of Shattered Throne, Shattered Realm. I forget what it's called. Because it was like you go through the first time. And then now as you go through, you unlock stuff and you get more secrets. So it's a little bit of that Metroidvania, unlocks more access to things as time progresses. So at least that way, it's not like, hey, you've done a catch crash. You've seen catch crash. We're going to see like slight variations. I know it's still going to be a little slow because it's going to be over the course of probably like 6 or 7 weeks. But I still like the fact that, hey, something is going to have a little variety, a little change each week for a little while. And that I look forward to. And an exotic mission. We didn't get one last season.
That is true. Yeah, looking forward to it in the dungeon.
All right, I gotta ask you guys, armor. What armor sets are you guys digging on? Because I'm curious. Let's start with Assassin's Creed. No?
Nah.
He ain't feeling it.
No Eivor?
Nah. It looks tacky. I'm rarely a fan of crossover looks, and it kind of, I don't know. It's like you're cooler than a assassin. You're a space wizard. Why are we dressing up? What is this?
What is this?
It's like, you know, it's like when modern people go to a Renaissance fair. It's like we evolved past
Wow.
Renaissance fairs,
And we are never getting nice things in Destiny ever again.
Yeah, thanks.
Look, guys, look, we built cities for a reason. We stopped, stopped having the Black Plague for a reason. It was
Hey, maybe just
overrated,
enjoy the
and
shiny stuff and move on. How about that?
no need to go back. Let's just move on. I think we're good. I don't think you need to do this again.
You don't like the cross-promotional, cross-functional gear? You're not about getting you about the little what is it, the finisher now that got the jigger with the you don't want to synergize with your Assassin's Creed love drive? What's wrong with you?
This is exactly the type of thing I would worry about if your company got acquired by a large publisher and
set it
all
up.
of the cross promotion.
I don't think my eyes can roll hard enough right now. I'm sorry.
I mean, this is This is what happens when you go corporate, right? From being an independent studio, is it was already bad enough when they did a 30th anniversary and were cross promoting with their own games, but now all of a sudden we're gonna have, Ubisoft up in our place,
In our house.
trying to sell us fur coats and stuff like that. It's just like, bro, come on, man.
Hey, if you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. Move on. Party pooper. Damn.
Division,
But I can also complain about it. I can say that it's bad and that other people shouldn't have to buy it.
Okay, let me hear from Cog. Do you think? What do you think about the armor set from Assassin's Creed crossover?
I mean, I'll let Trav finish his thought first before
he's done. He's not gonna stop.
I'm not finished.
We gotta cut him off. We gotta cut him off before he keeps going. So.
I want to get his ball. Get your balls off, Trav. Then I'll go.
It cheapens the game. I don't want. You know what else I don't want? I don't want a Dr. Pepper armor for my Mass Effect character.
Where we going?
Which we got courtesy of EA. So I just this sort of stuff. It's tacky. I don't know why people support it. I don't condone it. You will not catch me dead in that Assassin's Creed armor.
Oh, you boycott it!
I suggest that you Destiny Bungie people find an Altair way to raise money.
That was good. That was actually really good. That's really good. I gotta give you that one.
I tried it. Anyway,
I'm on the other side, of course. Obviously, when it looks decent, I thought it was cool. I mean, I would agree, Travis. Not something that Destiny necessarily needed. Like there was this yearning for it, but I thought it looked cool. I mean, look, I'm a Warlock. Altair look kind of hot out here. I'm biased. You already know. I was gonna
say Warlock. Look, I'm gonna say they put you front and center for a reason because
the lock,
like the two little knives on a Warlock. I'm like, you got a little hunter vibe going on there.
To be honest, I thought the hunter would get Altair. I really did. I was shocked. We got like the main thing, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing.
The hunter one does look good though too. Like I love, for whatever reason, I cannot get over the hunter mask in the eyes.
Yeah, kind of.
That one just looks real. So that one for Odyssey. Like I will say the Titan, the big furry one, like the big shield on the back's not bad for the Titan. I don't mind it, but Eivor is like kind of the most recent one, which isn't bad. Now I will say, if you guys saw what they got in Assassin's Creed. They got Saint and Shax and like a Thorn and a Gallahorn sword. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
They got like some better stuff than we have in our entire game.
Assassin's Creed got a little bit of the better deal here.
Yeah, they got some awesome stuff.
Yeah, I can't front. So I thought that was decent, but it is interesting to try with play. In fairness, this has been a very consistent thing that I'm starting to see now. We have Fall Guys. And then we had Fortnite, and now we have this is becoming the seasonal feature, right?
Hey, so, I mean, if they can find more cosmetics to sell in Eververse, they're going to do it. I can't blame them.
But 2,000 silver, just for the record.
Somebody did say they're more expensive. Yeah,
it's expensive as hell, and they put it in the game on the same day that they added a Hasbro Nerf skin for Gjallarhorn. All right,
DJ almost tweeted out. He got
Yeah, but they sold the Nerf gun. That's not surprising anyone. They sold the actual Gjallarhorn Nerf gun.
Then you can be mad at two things. You could say that's also stupid. It's
called merchandising, and George Lucas got insanely rich about it, so it's money. That's just a business.
Yeah, well,
can't really get too mad about it.
You can not like it. Yeah, you can. You actually can get mad about it.
I mean, I just disagree. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, oh, I'm not going to spend money on a cosmetic set of armor. Oh no, like it doesn't affect me one way or the other. If they put something in there and finally somebody's like, you know what, I love Assassin's Creed and Destiny. This was the set of armor I was waiting for, and they're like, I'm a warlock and I get to be the assassin. They finally got somebody. Like, hey,
all right, I'm with you. What if they do the trailer? What if now we do get the Dr. Pepper?
Yeah. What if you get the Dr. Pepper armor?
That's not going to happen.
Is it setting?
Okay, but if it does happen,
if that happens,
we got a Hasbro skin for a gun.
It's a Nerf gun.
This is the interesting part.
It is literally on one hand, a Nerf gun that was made.
I know but
it's not going to be Dr. Pepper.
So you're telling me in the world of Destiny, they remember Hasbro, and somebody took a gun that from the Golden Age.
Dude, you are overthinking this. Holy shit!
And look, I'm trying to put. Look,
I understand everything that you're saying. I get.
You're saying it doesn't cheapen the game. I'm saying. Give me an in-lore explanation for why Gjallarhorn looks like a Nerf gun from Hasbro. That's what I want.
There's not
And I want an
gonna be a
explanation.
lore version in there.
Okay, what about the Assassin's Creed armor? Do they remember the order of assassins from the
So
21st century?
They found
Yeah.
hieroglyphs. They found hieroglyphs in Egypt on a pre-collapse wall in a
Right.
pyramid, and they made
Right.
armor based off of that. Like,
and
come
he's
on.
bringing
Right.
he's bringing trinkets from the
Okay.
Golden Age and from
Got
time.
it.
You didn't say this last season with Fortnite, so why now? That's the
Nobody asked me about it last season. I thought last season was stupid too.
I mean, that's fine, but it's just like it's literally cosmetics. It's cosmetics. Like if it makes them a little extra money, and sure, I don't. It's fine. It is totally fine because buy them if you want them. Don't touch them if you don't want them. That's all cosmetics to me.
Yeah, and I will say, be careful what you put in your game because sometimes putting a lot of stuff in your game makes it feel a little bit like a dollar store that I don't want to enter. You unclassy bish.
Oh, the devs can't eat, Trav? So are we saying the devs can't eat?
Shut the hell up. I'm so sick of hearing that. Bungie
So you gotta
raking in
support the
billions.
devs. That's
F
your problem.
you. Oh my
You don't
God.
support the dev. They're making this product for you.
Fine.
and
You know what? I don't support the devs. I hope they all go out of business.
Oh my god!
There. Is that what you want to hear?
Cog, I'll see you next week on our 2-man show. That's nice.
Remember
Starve them. Go ahead.
the inception of
I
customers to get these maps, like Mac said last week.
I hope nobody buys your Assassin's Creed skins and it ruins your Christmas. That's what I hope, devs.
All right, I don't
How about
normally
that?
curse, but I'm about to say happy effing holidays to you.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right.
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that was literally supposed to be like, hey, what do you think of this armor set?
sorry,
Hey,
hold
what do
on,
you think
hold
of
on.
this armor set?
Sorry,
Giant
sorry.
tangent happens.
Sorry. I
Arc
missed
armor.
y'all.
Do you like the arc armor set?
Yes. I like it. I like it because I get my little electricity.
You're basically
shine.
what's the guy from Guardians?
Oh yeah, your man.
Yeah.
Kind of like you mean like a little, like not like a Star Lord? You talking about like a little?
No, Star-Lord's dad. Star-Lord's not real dad, but Star-Lord's.
Oh yes, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
mohawk.
feeling it. Just got to throw a good shade on it. I just don't like the default shader. I got a nice little shader for it. It's working right now. It's working. What about y'all?
I like the Titan helmet. I kind of like the sleek look. Looks like a racing helmet or like a motorcycle helmet, just kind of the sleek look. And I also feel like the Titan has the most like arc crystals all over them. So if you're going to lean into an arc look, then I feel like they did. So I'm cool with that one.
Mm-hmm.
We got the
Trav.
Iron Man armor coming back.
Yes, we got
Travis? Arc?
Arc Trav.
Are you going to weigh in on this one, or is it just,
you go-
Destiny sacrilegious as well?
Arc?
Yes, ornament, sir.
Arc ornaments.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, those are fine. They're not
you okay.
cheap, but I won't buy them.
Yeah.
Okay. No ornaments for Trav. All right, fair enough.
I don't care what I look like, man. I'm gonna look like a trash monster.
Yeah,
at
so
all
you went in
times.
there with the Walmart gear. Got it. Continue.
Actually,
Nah.
you know what? I spent my bright dust on the Transformers armor, and I've been
There
rocking
we
that.
see. There we go.
Oh, you got a Gundam armor because that
But
makes
that
sense
wasn't
as
a
much.
crossover. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
a
because
crossover.
that was in the lore. The Gundam was
The
in the
Gundam's
lore.
in the lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's the thing: is
100%.
that they already the creatures already look like robots in armor.
just
okay.
They play
Yep.
Titan.
We got
It's not that much
Literally,
of a stretch.
the
At one
bottom
point-
just fell out of his argument. It's fine.
We
Gone.
No, it didn't.
It's over.
No,
Yeah.
it didn't.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're done.
One, I didn't pay for it. Two, it's not
Oh.
actually a crossover. It's just it was like for a holiday.
It may
thing,
as
which-
well be a
let's just be
crossover.
honest.
The Gundam could not be more of a
Let me hear-
crossover
let me hear-
without
let him
name.
talk. I want to hear him wiggle. Go ahead.
Hear him wiggle.
I want to hear
Is
him
the
wiggle.
it's not a crossover though. If it was a crossover, it would
We
say
have 38
Gundam on the
minutes. He's
side.
not wiggling long.
Tacky. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, I forgot we were on time. I'm sorry. I'm having too much fun. I apologize. This is my
Anyway.
fault.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have fun this episode. Cog.
we not
We have.
allowed to have fun.
Oh, you're
I'm
like you already
running.
had more fun than I thought was about to happen. Just on when I was like,
This is
"Hey,
my
Assassin's
fault.
Creed crowd." Yondu, thank you. That's the name.
I
was looking
forgot we
for.
on the time limit. I'm having too much fun. Sorry, my fault. Continue.
I mean, none of
Somebody
none of
has
the
to wear
armor
the
makes sense.
producer
I was
hat.
gonna say that.
Okay, I was going to ask you guys though. I am actually pleasantly surprised by the base, not the season pass, but the base Warframe armor or the Warmind armor. Did you guys like the looks of those with the little like almost like Iron Man little spot in the middle, kind of the yellow and black? You guys know what I'm talking about? Did you
Yeah, I'm
like
looking at it
those?
now. actually on the other side of this.
Don't
Maybe
like
because Titan's probably looks stronger. Yeah, the Titan looks way better. I'm not a fan of the Warlock one,
Okay.
just to be honest. But the Titan looks good. Hunter looks decent. There's something about
Which
ours
one are you
looks a
guys
little
talking
off.
it's on the far right if you're going through the season
He's
page.
another
It's the
Seraph link.
Yeah, it's the Seraph
Okay.
armor, basically just the base
Mhm.
set that you're getting from the armor drops. I just was like,
Put in the
I don't always love those sets. Like sometimes they're kind of like the base set for a reason, and I was like pleasantly surprised with kind of the ornate nature, the little glowing lights, and I just thought it was a pretty good looking one in comparison to some.
Yeah, y'all look good. Y'all look good. All right, get your Iron Man logo.
Do you like the new Seraph weapons? That's a question.
Yes.
Okay, I got you there.
Huge fan of the weapons. Huge
Double
fan.
laser sights on a bow. I'm like, I don't even know if that makes any sense at all, but it's kind of great.
It's not
Mhm.
supposed to make sense. Okay, it's made by Hasbro. They're one of the gun manufacturers in Destiny. Canonical.
What
That
about
H
me?
stands for Hake, not Hasbro. Come on now.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Maybe Hasbro rebranded and became Hake. We don't know. We have no way of
The
knowing.
Hasbro guy's just lazy one day and draws the middle line of the H much longer than normal, and it's like, oh, we're a new company now.
Like
That's it.
Which I love
a
that
golden
trace
age.
rifle.
Things were
That
crazy.
trace rifle design. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Throw a nice
I
little
just love
shade on
like,
it.
yeah.
I'm loving
You
that
kind
one.
of have that like quilted look a little bit. You got laser sights
Mhm.
on everything. Nah, it's like I love they did well with these. Like you always think it's like I just want to take a second and shout out to the weapons team.
The weapons team.
I can't tell you how many times when I'm like, I pick up a new gun and I'm like, yep, this one sounds unique as well. It looks unique.
Bro.
And like 500 guns later, we're still getting legendaries that are their own thing somehow. I'm like, I don't know how you're doing it. At some point, you
Bro.
got to make a Destiny 3 because they're going to run out of ideas. But
The Manticore shooting and then the wings come
Yeah.
out and you float and the sounds it make, like from a game design, a gun design aesthetic,
Yeah.
it's fire. It flows. You know what? Sidebar. I know I'm time limited. It almost feels they made that gun just to shut up people about complaining about airborne accuracy.
oh, I mean, no, that is literally like we're doing airborne. 100% we're sticking with airborne. Like it is that gun. Oh yeah, for sure. By the way, for any of you who don't know, I saw Manticore and I was like, why does that word look kind of... So it's from Greek mythology. A beast with a body of a lion, usually red, tail of a scorpion, and the head/face of a man with a mouth filled with multiple rows of sharp teeth, said to be able to shoot spikes from its tail or mane to paralyze prey. And I was like, I was honestly wondering if the exotic was going to have like a stunning or something effect, but yeah, I love when they just pull random stuff and I'm like, yep, there it is again, some actual mythology thing. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll use that one that much because yeah, it's a 900 SMG and I like 900s and the floating is okay, but I probably will stick with other stuff. I'll get the exotic and the catalyst, but I just don't know if it's strong enough to probably get me to use it over a bunch of other stuff. Personally on that one. I've heard mixed things on the pursuit weapon, like the pulse rifle. You got like 4 origin traits and some okay perks, but I've heard it kind of feels okay, but yeah. Let's see what else. So season pass, yep, that's the exotic SMG, and then the universal ornaments for the season pass. That's like Vice threw up on everybody. Like that's like your Vice armor. If you've ever wanted to be Vice, like especially the hunter arms as well, that is Vice armor 100%. Do you like that one over the Seraph armor?
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, Hunter, I think, is at the best.
Yeah, I think the Hunter won that one.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Hunter won that one.
Titans, yeah, definitely digging the Seraph Titan over this one, I think. So, trying to think of anything else. So down in the pictures, if you go to the media screenshots, and they showed this guy, it's like a Stasis Fallen captain. You know what I'm talking about? It's the guy who I think is going to be either exotic quest guy that we're chasing. I don't think they would show us the dungeon because the dungeon we'll get to in a second is Vex, by the way. Spire of the Watcher. So it is called Spire of the Watcher, and it is a Vex dungeon. So we did actually kind of narrow that one down. It is going to be...
You fought the Vex, huh?
It does feel like it, right? Feels like we've been lacking in...
Unless you can vault the glass, which I don't.
Kind of a run back, I guess. So there's a spire, looks like, and we're going to access it through Mars. It looks like we're maybe going to access it through the Enclave, possibly, because they say it's in one of like the time, like don't know, ripples in time or whatever you want to call them that are happening on Mars, like the opening campaign mission. It seems like we're going to be getting to it through there. So I don't know if we're going to access it through the throne world or how we're going to actually get access to this thing. But I wanted to ask you guys, since it is Vex related, what you guys are looking forward to in this one. If you have any hopes, any worries, any painful enemies you might be facing, chickens, for example.
I hope it turns out that the Vex were actually a reorganized version of the Templars.
Templars from
Assassin's Creed.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Just making sure we're all clear here.
Yeah, I want them to be the Templars. And then if that happens, I'll buy the Assassin's Creed armor. That's all. Are you muted, Cog?
You are muted. Yeah, you're muted.
Cog is muted. Yeah,
I was like, he's so petty. That was classic. I think, what do I want? So the question is like, what do I want from?
What do you want to face? Is there any cool like enemies?
I
Any
wanna
worries
stand
of
on
encounters?
I would like a unique Vex boss, like a different, like kind of archetype of a boss. as
What if they
opposed to the
throw
traditional-
like a Panoptes at you or something?
Yeah, like it's time. It's time for something new. I'm tired of the mines with the shield around.
Yeah,
The
I don't
chickens
want
were
to.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Chickens
do
are
not
cute.
want a Hydra mind. I'm good with those.
Yeah, I'm good on that. It would be cool. I think ultimately, I don't know if they could do this now because it's the nature of the season. It's already written out and it's all linking into everything. But at some point, I think with the Vex, you're gonna have to have them either solely. They need a voice. They need a soul voice. I know that they're a hive mind, but it just doesn't work narratively as a threat to me. You know what I mean? If you have that voice talking, like when you're hearing the witness, you're hearing, Savathun, you're hearing it hits, right? And I think that's what's missing from taking the Vex to the next level. And I would like that to happen. I don't know if it will happen this season, but I would love that because that's the only thing. Because I think the design of them are cool, and I love robots, but they just need to. I need to be scared.
So I do agree with that. In general, I think that they kind of need a voice. They need to have motives that are beyond just they want to dominate everything. I actually think the biggest problem with the Vex is that they haven't embraced the main fantasy of fighting the Vex, which is you're fighting time travel. This is Terminator. I should be able to, every single event I do with the Vex, it shouldn't be you go through a hallway, you fight some Vex, you go through another hallway, you fight some Vex, now you're outside, you fight some Vex. It should be like you're traveling through time, you're trying to prevent something from happening before it happens. They created some big monster, they won the war. Oh, well, we've got to go back in time and replay through the Red War, except for this time the Vex, took over Gaul or whatever. There needs to be some I want some alternate timelines, damn it. You're a time travel enemy and you don't do any time travel in your encounters. And I think the only one that did was Vault. Vault actually has time travel as mechanic, and they touch on it a tiny bit in the campaign of Curse of Osiris, but I would argue not well.
Yeah, Sundial teased that the best, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, I want some time travel mechanics, and I want a time travel story where you've got to go in the past or the dark future and fight stuff and prevent things from happening. And they never do it, and it makes me so mad.
Do you worry they don't want to step on Titanfall Toe's shoes? That was one of my two. The campaign in Titanfall 2 where you're flipping back and forth, where you can flip time back and forth.
Step on, bro. They've been stepping on Halo shoes for like 8 years. Step on those shoes.
I just like that mission from Titanfall was really cool. I really enjoyed that mission. It was so good where you were flipping back and forth. I was like, I wish there was a way to do that, but it was like, I feel like that was almost like a button press or something. It was pretty quick. I feel like in Titanfall, and I don't know if they could do something like that because right now duality is killing people. So I guess I don't know if they can handle it. I get what you're saying though. The time, I would like to see that. And as you said, we're going into some tower. Maybe it is like a progression through different times or something related to that would be cool. I would like to see them embrace the Vex more. Somebody also said giving them a voice, but like Sarko said, like a Legion type voice, like all the voices talking at the same time. Like if they could overlay like 100 voices saying the same thing, like that would sound awesome for the Vex.
Like I want some Mass Effect level, whether it be like Reapers or what's my people? I'm not forgetting them right now. Why am I blanking, Trav? What's the the Geth. You know what I'm saying? Like they just need to feel that threat, or they got the option. I think Sarko also mentioned they've been flirting with Ashramir, not necessarily gone or it's simulated in there. Some of the best stories I feel are like those type of stories, and I would love to take that Mass Effect level approach. I remember there was a mission called like the Overlord, and like someone got controlled by like machines and stuff. There's so much they can do with them to make them more menacing. But what I don't like is that the Hive are so good.
Yeah.
They're the ultimate fallback for Bungie narratively.
Yeah.
All right, something's bad. We need something cool. Here comes Evil Wrath. Something cool. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
we need something.
I mean, they're built up to kind of be that way, but you would think like the Vex being able to travel through time and stuff. Granted, I don't know who made them. I'm not an expert on the lore. That'd be something I'd have to brush up on. But whether they work for the Witness or not, and then you had Quaria, who we took out in like the end of a season thing. But I kind of expected a little more, being as Quaria was, I think, what was it, like a gift between Savathun and Oryx and like that level of thing, and then we kind of take it out in a story beat, and I was like, it would be cool. I don't expect dungeons typically don't have memorable bosses. Yeah. They just are, an enemy with whatever. Now, granted, how you fight the boss, like in Prophecy, could be cool. If they can lean something into more of how the fight goes, as opposed to Grasp of Avarice, where it's, DPS phase as usual.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm hoping. I see the idea of a tower. Somebody mentioned. I was like, can you imagine like the recent Dread movie? Going floor by floor by floor, like clearing stuff out. It's a cheesy movie. That's fine. But I was like, that's one of those things I think in games, at some point in the future, we'll get to a point where you can run around in Grand Theft Auto, but you can't go in any of the buildings. At some point, I want to go in go in all of the buildings. I feel like there was some game that was like previewed like that. I forget the name of it because it has not come out, and I don't know if it ever will. But you actually had the ability to go up in some of the buildings and stuff like that. It would be interesting to like work through a building, but I was like, yeah, there's a lot of ways they could do Vex, and most of the stuff you guys have said sounds fun. I just don't know what to expect from a dungeon. I just hope for a unique mechanic.
Yes, sir.
Something that's not too painful. Like the light in the dark was a bit fidgety. If you were standing there, it had a little bit of a delay, but then also
that was cool. That was a great mechanic.
Oh yeah. I like the creativity of it, just like the every so often you can be like, I swear it was in light or dark, like you thought you were in the other one, as opposed to shoot the Scorch Cannon and open the thing, kind of with like the engram dunk, like that. It's the whole. I get the theme of it, but like now with Vex, I feel like, because I'm trying to think, we've had, well, we had obviously Vault of Glass, but we also had Garden of Salvation, and somebody's like, please no tethers. From Garden of Salvation.
Oh God, not the conga line.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody line. All right, we got the rope. Okay.
I mean, you can. They build them to be soloable, so you got to keep that in mind for mechanics. But now I was like, that is me tomorrow. Is going to be running that dungeon. I am
excited.
I'm pumped. I always enjoy the dungeons. I've enjoyed all of them on first encounters. Like the first time you play Dares is actually fun. It's just
you play all of them by yourself the first time.
Not always. I think I did Dares with a group. I'm trying to think, was that our last? Not Dares, Grasp. Duality. I feel like those last couple I did with a group. I'll always go back and then turn around.
I did with you.
Me? Oh no, you too.
Yeah, didn't you and I? No, you. Didn't
Duality?
you do the pirate one with me the first time? Oh, Duality. No, Duality was somebody else. Yeah. The pirate one, I think you were there though, because I was springing all the traps and you were letting me walk into them.
Yes,
because you're a terrible person.
It is a very fun thing to Sherpa people through that, so you get some laughs. But then when you get to the cannon launching section, just it worked, but it also it didn't hit in the same way. Because I literally last night I was just hanging out in chat and I was like, oh, another Pinnacle, so I soloed Shattered Throne just while I was talking to chat. Not that hard anymore to do it. Especially with the bonus damages that you can get. The ogre fight, you can actually, if I was just a little more efficient, I could have one-phased him. And I hadn't done that fight in a while. So you can one-phase him. But just the way that one feels all connected and going through, I know it's not amazingly different than some of these other ones, but when I get to the ogre section on Grasp versus the ogre section on Shattered Throne, I still feel like they did the ogre better the first time. That kind of thing. So I'm hoping this one kind of breaks the mold a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to see where they go with it. What narratively they're gonna try to tell. Obviously, they don't usually, like you said it best. Usually, dungeon bosses are like very no-namey, but I just want to know thematically the purpose, the reasoning. What do we get out of it? What do we learn that's gonna set up Lightfall most likely? And,
Yeah, there is some story
yeah.
to it. I'm scrolling through my pictures. Here it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
And obviously the connection to Rasputin and where they go with Rasputin.
Enter the Spire of the Watcher. That's the name of it. And stop the Vex from locking down Rasputin. So there is a story tied to it somehow. I'm not exactly sure what.
It's interesting because they kind of came out of nowhere because this story so far has been about Xivu Arath and them getting a control of Rasputin and the Warsats. So now the Vex kind of enter the picture. Dun, dun, dun. All right, which okay, we gotta see where they're going with this. Very curious.
Yeah, I mean, as a solo player, dungeons are still my favorite, so I'm biased. You know, solo it, solo flawless it. That'll be a whole thing to practice and learn it and do it. I have seen pictures of what the armor is theoretically going to look like.
Go off the okay.
I don't know if any of you guys would like to.
Oh, I did see it. Oh man. Oh man.
You have any thoughts about that?
I got thoughts.
Are you excited or not excited? And tell me why.
Oh man, this was a bad look. If that what I saw was what it is,
Dr. Pepper.
it's
No.
worse.
Well,
It's worse. This right here, I was like,
we're not spoiling.
not spoiling. I'm just Sarko, you know what it is. Okay, so Sarko see. Oh man, like I don't know what we doing, bro. What are we doing? So I ain't gonna spoil. I just gonna say that I was not a fan of the aesthetic. And it didn't make sense to me.
Now, Blackwings, you might have to help me out here. There's a thematic reason for that.
Okay.
There is a weapon foundry that ties in very specifically.
Yes.
And then that foundry specifically ties into the story.
Yes.
So while it may look a little goofy, that's why. And when I saw that, I'm going, okay. But I also am with you where some people are going to be like, we just got done doing one thing. Are we really going to go this way now as well?
Right.
Some people are going to have some questions. Again, it's an armor set. But I will at least say,
he out of pocket.
I will say at least the armor itself is something that we can earn in the dungeon, and it's a unique set. It's not so much like, you know.
Wait, so it's cowboy themed? Is that what I'm getting?
Thank you for spoiling it. You have any idea how long we danced around this, and you're just like, here you go.
I mean,
spoilers.
look, I haven't looked at it, so if you were dancing around it, you're doing a bad job because that was what I inferred from like I haven't looked at it. You just told me that. That was my guess.
Well, you did good.
Good job. Way to infer. Thank you, sir.
I mean, good. If it's cowboy themed, that sounds bad. It sounds like more of what I don't want. So, although, you know what? Cowboys actually make more sense because cowboys did canonically exist.
Okay, the reason is theoretically there's a tie to Tex Mechanica.
Yes.
Tex Mechanica is the foundry that made Last Word, Dead Man's Tale, and theoretically there's a tie from Tex Mechanica to either Clovis or Braytech or something along those lines. Like they made it. That's why. That's, I think, and somebody will probably correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to. But that is why thematically those actually do make some sense in the story. So
a lot of Vex wanted.
Do what?
I'm just thinking I'm still confused with the Vex. What is their motivations?
Oh, to go after Rasputin? Well, I don't know on that one, but
he like inferior to them. I would consider they laugh at him. Like, or maybe it's like, yeah, we could control him. I don't know.
Well, I mean, in theory, like, still hit. If you could control Rasputin, you can control the Warsat network, which is what the Xivu Arath is trying to do. The Warsat, the arsenal of weapons that Rasputin has access to. No mention of Chaperone. Sorry, I don't use that weapon
Chaperone
very much.
Is the gun. I mean, that's the
I suck with Chaperone, so it's just one of those like voids in my memory. I apologize. So, but no, that's kind of why is like. But also, if the Vex could somehow get control of the Warsat network, then they also have access to some very powerful tools to wipe us out. So again,
in real life.
No, go ahead.
Just Laura, we gotta have to bring life back. I'm so confused with the Vex motivations lately. Are they dealing with the witness or are they not? Where are they at?
I don't know. I would have to freshen up too.
Darkness followers.
They're darkness so dark it despises other dark. Okay. That's what you need to know about.
Should they be working with, like, you know what I'm saying, like Zevrath? So the motivations I'm trying to see where they align in this whole picture, right? Space opera.
Bungie is still figuring out the story. They haven't gotten that far yet. Give them a break.
I gotta relax.
Years.
I gotta relax. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I was trying to actually look it up, like who created the Vex. The Vex were created before the creation of the universe through what was known as the flower game between Destiny's darkness and light. The games between the two always resulted in the creation of a self-sustaining pattern that would grow to dominate the entire simulation. So, in theory, did Clovis Bray create the Vex? No, but he made a portal, which was the Glassway Strike, and his portal was the access to the Vex world.
Right. I do.
Yeah, the Vex apparently are neutral, but they still want to take everything over. So they're
both. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that is both vexing and offensive.
Well played. Well played.
Love it. You and Sarko are on fire right now. Like,
because of the Vex offensive. That was an event, an activity in Destiny.
Well, this has been one heck of a short little tight podcast of all sorts of tangents and fun, but I wasn't expecting anything less from this trio. So let me ask you guys this. Which one are you excited more? An exotic quest with multiple layers, theoretically a gun and multiple catalysts, or a dungeon with Vex in a tower and also some kind of exotic because you just expect one to come from a dungeon? Which one do you think you're going to enjoy more? That's a better question.
I want the dungeon, and I want the sweeper bots in there saying status calamitous. They make me laugh when they say, when they repeat Clovis, I erupt laughing. So that's what I want. I just want the little sweeper bots getting overrun, acting like this. They can't stop the Vex, and that's what I need to see. Continue, Trev.
I choose option C, ranked playlist.
Woo! There we go.
Well, thank you for not answering my question.
Answer the question.
He answered. Yep.
Why make the big bucks?
Travis over here, the guaranteed captain disagreement, but it's fine.
Contrarian.
Yeah,
contrarian.
No, I would choose. I'd choose the dungeon. Dungeon sounds cool.
Yeah, somebody's like dungeon because sadly a multiple catalyst weapon is likely going to be bugged, disappearing. Sarko's possibly not wrong. If you got multiple catalysts, now granted, the catalyst may not be amazing if one's like different perks of like one's rangefinder, one's feeding, like maybe if it's like lighter catalysts that are doing smaller perks, maybe. I mean, if they were absolutely crazy perks, I could see them being a little broken, but overall, nothing too crazy. Yeah, overall, I'm having fun this season. Obviously, we're a couple of days in, so it's early. But I will say when it started, and I got Anna and Osiris going back and forth. Osiris with the heartfelt moment, which he does not generally have. Which we didn't have many of the. I honestly don't know many of those that I can think of last season, because it felt like we got the Nezarec and like the backstory with the animated cutscene. You got the fight between Aramis and Mithrax, which was cool, but then you're like, okay, he grew up a little bit because he didn't kill her.
Right.
But like already right there, just in the opening, we had to go get the engram back. We've got that thing, we're trying to save it. We're going to find the submines. You've got Mara, and then we're gonna have Caiatl and Mithrax. It's just like this one's setting up already to be like just really, really cool. And it's like not to anything last season. Sometimes you need a filler season. It's like episodes of a season, and not all of them are game breaking for the overall arc. And it feels like last season was minor versus this season. I will say though, like the tie into this season, the coerced Fallen, Ziva or Wrath is basically like coercing Fallen that kind of wanted to branch out on their own because Aramis messed up, and now they're kind of being punished. So that's kind of rough.
Yeah, I did peep that. I did hear the reference of it. They're doing some cool story beats. Look, I like the characters involved. I like the setting involved. I think it makes for a potential, good story. We got to see how they conclude it, with this season. Hopefully it's a nice, fulfilling payoff and some more character development. But Clovis coming back was a pleasant surprise. I really felt we didn't get enough of him in Beyond Light. And yeah, it's exciting. I'm learning more about the Bray history. Curious if the stranger, probably not. I probably asking too much for the stranger to be. I went over to
I would
her
like to though, man. It does seem
I
when
went over
Anna's
to
around, I want to see
Europa.
Elsie too. Like that
Yeah,
seems...
I went over to Europa to see if she's gonna say anything. I was like, nah, you ain't got nothing for me to do. I'm out.
No,
Like,
yeah, she won't have much.
And we have to. Last part I want to say is, what you call it? Crow is on hold. I feel like Crow's been
Crow. I mean, he had his crazy moment in Haunted. He kind of made peace with Aldrin at a point, and also he had his butt saved by Brackus Forge.
Yes.
So I feel like he was kind of in a, you know, what's
it's just weird to walk past him in the helm and he ain't got nothing going on.
He just, but I mean, like, I don't even know where he would fit in the story. At some point, he's got to be part of, like, you know, some bigger attack. But
remember, Osiris coming back, he was deceived by fake Osiris.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if we're gonna get anything.
Oh, a Crow Osiris interaction.
Yeah, because he was they got a little unfinished business there, you know, a little bit. So I'm curious, you know, but it's good to see my man back and doing. I feel like the humanity. I mean, the Guardian losing of his, you know, guardianship has kind of changed him for the better, made him a more human character a little bit. Before he always be pontificating and arrogant all the time. But you know, I do like him taking that human approach, and the state relationship is just awesome to see them actually kind of fledge it out a little bit. You know what I mean, kind of thing. So I like that.
Yeah, week 1 off to a very good start. I enjoy the challenge. And honestly, guys, if you are looking for a team, I have been every so often using the Find a Fire Team feature from Bungie.net. It works. I mean, it actually, like, hey, I was going to go run Dares of Eternity on Legend to knock out a bounty or whatever. Literally made a searching for, like, made my fire team and said, hey, here's 5 open spots. Filled up, sent the invites, went in, knocked it out. Like, it actually worked. So if you're trying to do some of the higher stuff and you need a group and you don't know one, especially things like Dares or Legend Wellspring or just random stuff like that.
You got to get Dares going.
Well, Forerunner got boosted.
Yep, I need 4. I don't even have the catalyst.
I literally just picked up the catalyst today.
Nice. Oh, I got the Cloud Strike catalyst.
I got that. I haven't leveled it up or whatever, unlocked it yet. So Cloud Strike got a catalyst. Forerunner, I just got that one. Merciless. Mess with that weapon. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll talk to you guys about that one next week.
What? Merciless? What's going on? Quick, give me the preview. Quick.
Use it and you'll find out.
What? Merciless?
Bro.
What they do to Merciless?
It's better.
Okay. We're gonna tell you on the Game Awards. Cog. Just log in. They'll tell you there.
Basically, the idea is like you can fire at an enemy and all the bolts hit, but even though you kill an enemy, you have like a little countdown for like the speed of the firing to be faster. And then if you turn around and kill another enemy, you have a little bit longer and it's faster. And then you can dump into a boss. So you can like shoot some. You have like a couple second buffer that allows you to kill a couple of enemies. And then if you want to dump on something big, you're already stacked up for the fast fire. And
right. Okay, so I mean,
and then
and
then if you reload, theoretically, if it's fast enough, you can keep it going.
Got it. So
the reload, and then especially if you like a faster reload, you'll be able to keep the 8 really fast all together at the same time. So it's going to be a decent option. Like if you got a bow and a heavy, and you need a decent like a backup DPS weapon, theoretically, could be very good for that because. You know, fusion rifles are decent at rapid fires. Merciless is the better version of that for like a backup DPS weapon after your heavy's done. Just mess around with it. I think it's got potential.
Fair enough.
Anything else? We got 9 minutes till the Game Awards. I know you got to run because
I gotta run.
He's going to be on Iron Lord's podcast. Go watch him there. He's going to do it. Or is it Defining Duke or LSM? Which one?
No, this is gonna be ILP. We're doing the stream for the awards. See what's going on. But yeah, man, I'm excited to see. It's a lot now. Destiny's supposed to have a presence there, right? Lightfall's supposed to have a presence. And,
there's a trailer in there, so go watch it.
Yeah, there's a couple other games. Tekken's supposed to be there. They're gonna have a presence. So a lot of stuff should be announced. And then Keeley's kind of, really saying there's some strong awards. I mean, strong reveals that he's excited for.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I liked what he said. He's like, tonight is probably the shortest show we've done. Still, we're on 2.5 hours, but we've streamlined the runtime with more focused content, fewer bigger sponsorships, which I'm like, hey, if it's not every other thing, and here's these couple of streamers we're focused on. There were like some weird moments before, so I'm okay if this one looks a little more streamlined. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. There's a lot of rumors of what could be dropping. I mean, theoretically, Death Stranding 2, Horizon Forbidden West DLC, what Elden Ring DLC is possibly coming for Final Fantasy 16 release date, maybe. Like, and then game of the year is going to be between two games, and I don't care who wins. I like them both. So
It's
I'm here for the
between one
drama.
game.
yeah. Well, that's about all I got, gentlemen. Where can they find you? What are you looking forward to? Or maybe just turn around and go find Iron Lord's podcast and go watch them there.
I'll be there real quickly. ILP, check us out if you got time. If you want to hear us see how our bets played out on which categories that we want pick for what award they would win, go check that out and see us react to some news. Trav, what you got doing? How many reviews you going?
I'll be watching the awards. I got a bunch of previews coming up. I've got my High on Life review coming up, and enjoy the Game Awards. Remember, this is a celebration. It's never been a good at being a Game Awards show. Don't take the winners or losers seriously. Nobody else cares.
Yeah.
Good
It's
point.
not real.
Good point.
And just enjoy and celebrate games as a whole. And that's all. We'll be here
No
next
doubt.
week.
Yeah.
With more
Can't wait to
Destiny.
play Star Wars Jedi Survivor next year. That's all I can say, because they've teased that one way too much. I love the first one, so I'm excited. Yeah, you guys know me, Ebontis everywhere. I'll be streaming the dungeon tomorrow. Videos will keep coming. Dungeon Guide will be coming. So stay tuned to the channel, and we will be back next week. Next week we have Psalm Lab. Wonderfully nice gentleman, very good lore man. So it'll be good to pick his brain a little bit more about lore once we kind of get into the second week. But yeah, that is episode 227. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Cog, for coming in the momentary clutch there.
Thank you all for adjusting for me. I appreciate
Hey,
y'all.
no, well, I mean, we were going to do it too, because like
today's still bad too.
we were going to do it. So yeah,
Thank you,
chat. You guys have been fantastic. And for this episode, it has been the last word. We out.